Coders, programmers, welcome back. This is your boy Dev02. So I'm back with another video, and this video is just going to be quite different because I'll be just talking about how I design my readmes. I am very good in technical writing and I use Markdown to design such readmes. So if you go to my GitHub profile, you'll come across this. So you'll see like a brief description of what I do, who I am, and you'll see all my credentials in here. You'll see all these nice graphics, links, and my social media. So the big question I've been receiving a lot is, how did you manage to do this? So this is a combination of not just writing it in Markdown, like the whole README, but also using HTML and CSS. So as I go in and try to load this, so you can see there's a combination of HTML in there, not necessarily CSS, but not much CSS, but you could see there are so many links in there. So I'll just be in this video just giving you a walkthrough on how I was able to achieve just understanding and appreciating how to write good project readmes, as well as just showing you how to be able to explain your code, especially when you put it on GitHub. Majority of the time when you do technical writing, the first thing that you're required to do is to make sure that you have a very good readme that explains the code. Even before somebody goes into your code, especially into open source, you have to make sure that your code is thoroughly explained. And in this video, I'm just going to show you a sample of a project that I worked on, and it's called the EMS254. I worked on it in my final project in the ALX program, and the content in the project is not important right now. Right now we're just going to talk about how I was able to structure the documentation of the technical documentation and how to write the readme, and looking at even how it looks like on GitHub. Let me just open it on GitHub and just share the screen real quick. I made sure to be able to just explain all the methods in there. Let me just show it, because looking at this, it may look like gibberish, but this is the final product of how it looks like. So this is how it's looking like, especially when you go to GitHub. So anytime when you write good documentation, you don't have to necessarily go to the code first. You just have to look at how it's a walkthrough on how you did things. So you're seeing like there's a title there, there's a main title there, header 1, there are links attached to it. So if you click this, you'll go to the main repository. You'll see like a description, you'll see the file structure. Talked about the file structure, the routes, and also like making highlights, bullet points, just a very simple way so that somebody can be able to like follow through and understand like what you are actually coding. So this is a very important skill to have, especially when you're doing software engineering. And in this video, I'll just show you a snippet on how to be able to achieve these nice styles and to be able to write them very well so that the projects that you develop look so professional. A lot of times I look at, like, I go to open source projects, the first thing I look at is their readme, and they have a detailed readme. They show you how to set up the project, they show you how to look at the file structure. Sometimes if you go directly to the code, you might not understand how that code works. Maybe you'll understand without going to the readme. Maybe you'll understand the code if you're part of the project, but people who are looking outside, looking in, won't be able to understand what you're trying to do per se. So in this video, I will just do a deep dive on how I did things. So let's get into it. So you have this single pound sign. Let me just highlight here real quick. So I'm using VS Code for this because I find this is actually a very nice tool to use, especially when it comes to like detailing and writing a good project readmes. And the reason why I like it, because there's a preview here of what you're going to be committing, especially when you're using GitHub. Of course, you have to commit your code here. So the readme you'll be committing it to GitHub, so it will be there. So when you look closely at the read at the hold on when you look closely where you see the readme, you're seeing the readme is there, but you're seeing it's like it's pinned here and it just falls below. So GitHub uniquely identifies the readme file, and it puts it at the bottom of your source code. So the reason why you're not seeing source code here is because I created a separate repository just to talk about this project and just have a detailed readme so that it cannot have any conflicts with the main repository, because it was still under development. So with that out of the way, I will talk about just the basics, just so that you can be able to understand like where all this is, where all this is coming from. So we have our main header. So you see here it's highlighted as our main header. Then you have a hyperlink. So you have a header 2 here. So then there's the hyperlink here. So you can make this a link, you have to like put those square brackets, then you put like then you have to put like the curly, not the curly braces, but the brackets, the normal one. Then you put the link to it. So this is the link to the main repository that is being developed. Then just write your text here, like you just write like a description of the project. Then this is the fun part. So this here, when you put like this symbol, this is a symbol that you'll find at the beneath your escape button. So there's a symbol called the tilde. I forgot what the name of this symbol is, but it's used to highlight your projects. It's used to highlight your work so that you can look like this. So you can see like it's enclosed in somewhat of like a bubble. You can see it's somewhat like a bubble here. So when you put that symbol, it encloses things like that. So this is how it looks like. Just show. So when you close it with this symbol, so this symbol, you'll find it beneath the escape button at the top left of your keyboard and at the left side of your one. So you'll see a tilde and that symbol, so you'll use that. Yeah, so when you use that, it highlights it and puts it in somewhat of like a bubble. When you do that, it enables that. Then the links, use the square bracket to what you want to link to. It's like creating a hyperlink. Then you put like the square brackets, then you put like the square brackets in there, then you put like the normal brackets there. So yeah, then there's the bullets. If you want to put a bullet, you put like the hyphen there. The hyphen assists especially when you want to like indent your points away from the margin. Sometimes it might look blocked, like this one. I didn't want to put this one because this was like the project description, but when you're trying to format your work and just make your work visually appealing, those are one of those things that you use. But you can see like the bubble, you can see that symbol for the bubble. I've used it a lot just to highlight the points, and Markdown is actually quite easy to like learn, because you have to just learn how to use those symbols at where you just have to understand those symbols, how to put them in your text, especially putting them in your documentation, and where to use them. So majority of the time I don't use as many or symbols, but what I try to do is just try to use as little symbols as I can, so that can bring out like some points there. So I don't go all out in like making the documentation too pretty, but just making sure that I have everything I need, because after all, this is technical documentation. It doesn't have to look the most pretty, but just make sure that you highlight all the points that you need. So you can see I'm just using that symbol just to put the bubble, and just putting the bubble there. So that's pretty much it, and this one has enabled me to be able to like structure my work pretty well. So you can see like this one chooses to that symbol chooses to highlight some things that you might want the person or the people or the team that is going to be interacting with your project to make sure that they look at. So that's one thing that is actually quite important. I'll just scroll through it, but make sure to be able to explain your code pretty well and highlight the things that you need, because when you do that, it enables somebody who's going to come and inherit your code just have like some time to go through it and understand the logic behind it, and also not only understand the logic but also try to make changes to it, especially when it comes to like making like iterations to it or even creating a new branch to it. So yeah, so basically that's pretty much it. I will make sure to always update you on if there's any new symbol or any new change that can happen, especially when I'm writing my readme files. But man, it's awesome. And this is one thing that I try to insist: when you have like source code, especially on GitHub, make sure to write very good project readmes, because this enables somebody to be able to like follow up on your code pretty well. And one nice feature is when you want to replicate. A lot of people have been asking me, hey Indiritu, I would like to just see how you did your GitHub, how to like create a GitHub that really looks similar to mine. So it's actually quite simple. Let me just show you. And this is actually one nice feature that GitHub has. So to set up like your readme to look like this, so you have to create a project repository. Yeah, you have to create a repository that has a similar name to your username. Then you put a readme file in it so that it can appear on top here on your profile. After you have done that and you want to utilize the styles and the schema that I've used here for your own project readme, make sure to click here. You click on this pen thing here on the top. After you have done that, you can be able to like view all the styles and all the things that I've done here. But this one may look different to you on your side. So what I would strongly advise is you click here on my username here. After you have done that, click on the readme. When you press the readme, click on raw. Make sure to click on raw here, as you can see. When you click on raw, it will show you the HTML tags that I've used, and it will show you all the styling that I've used to make sure to achieve this. So for anyone who wants to somewhat replicate what I've been able to achieve on my project readme, that makes it look so appealing, you can just come and check the source code from here, because it's open source and I've not hidden it from anyone. Anyone can be able to achieve this, because initially I just followed an example of how somebody did it, and I just replicated and tweaked it to my liking and make sure that it makes sense to me. So if you want to do the same, just go to my repository which has my name on it and click on raw. And if you click on raw, you will see the raw code that was able to make sure that this is this colorful. And my ALX certificate is there. Thank you, ALX. I graduated early last month. So yeah. So make sure to write good project readmes from now on, because this one enables you to stand out from other developers, because as senior developers look at your projects on GitHub, they look at how good you can explain them. You can have the best logic, but if you can't explain it pretty well, it puts you on it puts you down, and it puts you down the rankings, because they look at you like someone who doesn't know how to explain things. But if you do this, it enables you not only to show to the employer that you're able to like understand what you're doing, but it also create confidence in yourself, because anytime that you want to reference your code, you don't have to really remember what you did. You can just go back and refer to your previous project and you'll be good to go. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you like this video, make sure you leave your feedback down in the comments. I'll just be coming out with my nuggets of wisdom, especially when it comes to like software engineering, and be prepared, because I'm just going to be dropping a lot of videos along the way. And yeah man, I'm out. Peace. Let me just leave. Let me just put this one here. Yeah, hold up. Yeah, let me just leave it at that. Make sure you use VS Code because it enables you to be able to like do this and have the preview on there. And happy coding.